Hi, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, I've already pulled the initial messages to see where our reading is going today. Called in the appropriate protection, cleansed the cards, and are ready to get into the message. So today, there's a lot of divine mother energy flowing. We have 3 cards today, 3 energies that are coming forth, that are giving us knowledge, wisdom, and insight today. This insight is coming from the dance of the butterfly queen. When we think of dancing, we think of partners or dancing with someone. So there's this energy of partnership being created. This partnership, for many of you, is you connecting with the divine mother energy, whether you're a male or a female, but especially for those of you who have wombs, are women. You're coming into this essence of being elevated. Your status, you've been crowned, queen energy, dance of the butterfly queen. Many of you queens that are coming into this energy are also partnering up with your divine masculine energy. There's a dance that's happening. For those of you who this is with partners, it is a very divinely guided partnership. For others of you, it's a divinely guided partnership, and you or take it as it resonates. Some of you are simply partnering with the legacy of the divine mother, because we have Dynasty here. Many of you are recognizing, realizing, coming into the essence of being a part of the dynasty, of the legacy, of being a divine mother, of connecting with divine mother energy. When you look at a butterfly and you look at the way they flutter on the wind, it kind of looks like it's dancing in its own way. A butterfly also goes through many changes, from being a caterpillar to cocooning itself in, to emerging from that cocoon into a butterfly that has the ability to dance. Many of you are coming into these partnerships, and it's going to feel like a magnificent dance of your life. The word dynasty is not often used anymore, but back in the day, it was like you were a part of a dynasty. Dynasties were Dynasties were families of great power. There's this energy of great power being coming forth on the matriarch, in a matriarchal essence. This coming forth, this becoming, is weaving a brighter future, a more golden future. This is happening on multiple dimensions. What's occurring for those of you who resonate with this message? It is of a very sacred nature. And it is going to take strength, but you have the strength available to you. We have the horn beam here. This is the wisdom message coming from the trees today. The horn beam is also known as iron wood, because the hornbeam was a very strong to the point of when they would try to use an axe to cut it down, it would literally dull the axes of those that were trying to cut it down. So those of you who are in this divine mother energy, it's like any obstacles or anything that's been trying to cut you down, to cut down your legacy, to stop your dynasty, it's having a hell of a time. It's like your legacy is strong, your foundation is becoming stronger, and the tools that are being used against you are now dull. The ironwood, connected with this divine mother energy, is also speaking of there being a legacy of men that are coming forth, that are being birthed from this divine mother energy. You see, the dance of the butterfly queen here is card number 5. There's a great transformation that's happening, especially on a spiritual element. This dynasty is card number 8. It's bringing forth an abundant lineage, a lineage that carries things forth powerfully. And this weaving the future golden is card number 44, ascended masters energy. But 4 and 4 is also 8. There's an abundance to this wisdom, to this knowledge that's being passed down through the lineage. Now, what I saw was very strange. With this dynasty that's coming forth, with this energy, I saw that scene of I can't think of the name of the movie. I had it so clearly. Give me a second. In this scene, though, it was where, it's not RoboCop. What is this scene? But it has something to do with robotics. That's why RoboCop just came to me. There's this scene where, from the future, and remember, we have the weaving the future golden. There was this energy that was trying to stop what was meant to happen in the future. And so they send back these agents. They were robotic in essence. And these Terminator, that's what it was. Is that a movie? The Terminator? Anyway, they were sent back to terminate this woman, because what she was bringing forth, the seed that was being planted in her, that was a part of her lineage, her dynasty, would be what prevented them from prevailing in the future. So many of you, there's this essence to take care of your womb and the children that are coming forth from your womb. This is also creation energy with not just the children that you're creating, but there is an emphasis on the children, and especially the male children. Indigenous, I just heard. There's also this energy of what you're creating. Many of you are in this element of creating things spiritually that are assisting in the spiritual realms. Don't take it lightly. This is male and feminine because we all have creation energy. And what you're creating, oh, it is so necessary. Don't take it lightly. But for those of you that have wombs where your dynasty, your legacy, your lineage is a part of what's happening in the future, there's something about, I was shown, okay, so here we go. Let's do it. Mothers, be very particular about your children now. Very particular with the vaccines that you're allowing to be injected into them. I was shown a picture of how before there were certain vaccines, you didn't have children. The number was minimum of those that were born with certain things going on within them, such as autism, such as ADHD. Nothing wrong with these children that are being born this way. They still have a purpose. But there was a time where this was not such a element that had to be dealt with. And now you're seeing it more and more and more. There are connections, whether they're going to admit it or not, that is being injected. Be cautious with these vaccines, with these vaccinations. If you're not willing to do the research to see what the side effects are, now don't get it twisted. Some things are very helpful. But there is definitely an element that is set up to prevent your dynasty, your legacy, from doing what it is meant here to do. Creating a future that is weave golden. So alchemizing things that we're becoming more aware of consciously, that many of you spiritually are creating transformation for. There's this element that wants to prevent this transformation from happening. Be cautious, mothers. This is not a fear base. This is facing everything and rising. No more running, not being consciously aware. Putting your sovereignty over your dynasty and your legacy in someone else's hands. Take note of the intuitive messages. Even your children from the womb are speaking to you. Before they decided to come through your womb, you were already connecting in the spiritual with them. Take note of these intuitive messages. And for those of you who your children have already been born, don't shun them out when they're talking to you. Have a listening ear, be open-minded, have an open heart to receive the wisdom that they are bringing forth. There's a reason that they want your children to have a tablet in their hand, a phone in their hand at all times. Electromagnetic frequencies are real, and it does affect the body, the mind. It's time for certain transformations to happen in order for our future. Do we not say that we believe the children are the future? Was that Whitney Houston? Teach them well and let them lead the way. As we're taking note of these intuitive messages that are coming forth, it's not about fear, facing everything, forgetting everything and running, that false evidence appearing real. It's about taking control of that fear and turning it into freedom. Taking control of your sovereignty. Releasing any limiting beliefs, any constraints that tell you that you're not capable. You are capable. You are part of this legacy of the divine mothers that are weaving the future to be better and better. Not where we're giving over the sovereignty to robots, to elements and entities that don't have your best interest. Do you want to have your freedom, or do you want someone else to control your future? Now is the time to weave the future golden. Because what's happening in this present moment is all you have. It's this present moment of even the smallest steps that we take that move us towards a more golden future, towards legacy, divine dynasty energy. It's time for us to see things from a higher perspective. Stop looking at it from a small scope. There is something way bigger happening here. Fly up like an eagle and look down at this situation. This isn't small potatoes. This is big energy. And it's time for you to look at it from the bigger picture of what's happening to your lineage moving forward. How do you choose to see it? You're going to continue to give up your sovereignty because you're only thinking of yourself in this moment, with all of just the material things in life that keep you distracted. There are certain things that are here to keep you distracted so that you're not focusing on the future. If they can have your present moment and keep you distracted in your present moment, then others have control over your future. It's time to see from a higher perspective that everything is beautiful in this present moment, because it is this present moment. Card number 32, 3 and 2 totals 5. Within our partnerships, 2. Where we have the creation ability, 3. To create transformation, 5. to create a more beautiful future where our children don't have to prove their humanity. And what I mean is, there's this essence now where everything looks beautiful on the outside, but there are others behind the scene weaving things together, where you'll have to prove your essence of humanity. They want to control your essence. By you giving over your rights. So instead of you having to prove through AI and things like this, those tools should have to prove to you. Whenever an avatar, artificial intelligence, is being used, it should be made widely known. There should be laws implemented for this artificial intelligence. You can't put out news. You don't have the authority to use artificial intelligence and not make it be known. And once these things are known, we take the steps collectively to decide how things go forward. If we're not paying attention and seeing things from a higher perspective, well, everything is beautiful now. Do we get to continue to keep it that way? It's time to take note of the intuitive messages that are coming forth. We have the moon here, moon energy, intuitive messages with divine feminine energy. Bringing that balance back to the divine feminine energy. Card number 10, 1 and 0 is 1. New beginnings of how we're moving forward. Seeing things from a higher perspective. So that we're moving in this love and energy of openness, not restricted, not with limitations on how we birth things forward, not having limitations on your womb. Like as in China, where I don't know if this is still a thing, but at one point in time, it was like you were told how many children you could have. There is a spiritual balance being created when it comes to divine feminine energy, when it comes to divine mothers, with dynasty, with legacy. And it is a time of celebration in the spiritual realm, because there's a sacredness, a divineness to motherhood, to creation energy. Do you love yourself enough to see things from a higher perspective? Do you love yourself enough to choose humanity over artificial insanity? Do you love yourself enough to create a golden legacy, a golden weaving of the future, one that feels abundant, abundant in self-love, abundant in love, abundant in having the freedom to choose. It's your freedom of choice. that they use fear tactics to create, so that you give up your freedom of choice, so that you give up your sovereignty, so that someone else can control how things move for you. Right now you have the illusion of freedom. You see? It's time for us to grow within this current situation and be the wise one. Use the wisdom that you have now, because it's the wisdom that you have in this present moment. That allows you to take action, to implement actions towards the future, where we dream and we journey. Where your heartbeat is still beating. So what I'm getting with that is that you're still in the essence of not being part robot. Where are you going with that? What? Okay, so humanoid. Humanoid. It's time to dream of the future, how you want it to be, growing within this current situation, using the wisdom that's intuitively coming forward. Many of you have been seeing things in your dreams. Some of these are showing you how things are moving forward, and also how you can continue to keep your freedoms and not feel restrained. I do believe in that movie she was also like having dreams before it was actually happening. So some of you are being encouraged to pay attention to your dreams at this time. And to follow the golden rule. Meaning, if you as an individual appreciate your individuality, then wouldn't you want others to be treated the same way, including your legacy? Do you not want your children to have the freedom to choose? To not have their individual rights dictated to them by those who don't have their best interest. That's also a message for those that consider themselves in control, that 1%, those ones that are behind the scene creating all of this artificial, the key word, artificial, fake. Don't get it twisted. I'm not against using robots and artificial intelligence, but sweetie, there's always another side to the coin. And where you would stay in your naivety, not seeing things from the bigger picture, from a higher perspective, there are some that are counting on that so that they can control your freedoms. And it's time that we grow within these current situations and take note of this. As we're taking note of this, it's time to not relinquish your power. Because that's exactly what it's about. Relinquishing your power, your freedoms, your ability to choose. looking at these situations, it takes courage. It does. And it's not always so easy to own up to giving without expectation, meaning taking the steps that are necessary right now so that you're creating the dynasty, the legacy, so that we're able to continue to have freedom, the freedom to choose. Choose love over fear. And if you're choosing fear, it's facing everything and rising. To see things from a higher perspective. Rise like an eagle. Use your courage that you have in this present moment to not relinquish your power. Because many of you are manifesting dreams right now. Dreams of seeing the future better and better. Dreams of continuing to have your sovereignty to choose, including spiritually. There's a reason why in certain music contracts back in the day, now I don't know if this is still happening, I pretty much feel like it is, where you would even have to, how did it say, there was one person that was reading a contract, it was a music contract, and it said like they had control over your being even in other dimensions and realms. What in the hell is that? And then we're talking about a music contract. This is about not relinquishing your power. Especially to the mothers, take note. Take note, you have the power now to manifest the dreams of the future that you, for your legacy, for your children and their children's children. To build a place where they feel safe, sanctuary here. Card number 26, where they have an abundance of being able to live in peace. To choose the relationships they have. To choose to live their life as they perceive it. To not be chipped, where a microchip can control your everything, your thoughts. It's time to give to them without expectation. They need you now, in this present moment, to see things from a higher perspective and grow within these current situations that are happening. To use the wisdom that you have now so that it may continue for them, for your legacy as well. Where they feel safe. Instead of these propaganda fear techniques that are being created so that you give over your sovereignty, so that you relinquish your power, so that you don't feel safe. They create the problem and then give you the solution as well. Yeah, it's time to manifest a higher elevation dream. A dream where you're able to celebrate life. A dream where you're able to celebrate freely the life you have. It's time to take note. Release any of these self-imposed restrictions. Is it always easy? No, but it's possible. Continuing to flow in the ebbs and flow as you're seeing things from a higher perspective. Things come in waves. So some of these waves are going to be small, where you're able to take small steps. But even those small steps lead to bigger waves. When you drop a pebble into a lake, it starts out as a little circle, and then it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. So some of you, by taking just the small steps of paying attention, being aware of what you're putting in your body, what you're putting in your children's hands, how often they have these devices in their hands, how often we're giving over our sovereignty. It's going to take a little, paying attention, being fearless. For some of us, it's going to take a miracle, I just heard, to remove these obstacles that are being put in front of us, but it's possible. It's possible to tap into this ancient wisdom that they want to dissipate from you. The ancient wisdoms are where your power lies. But the more you give it over to artificial intelligence, you're relinquishing your power. Card number 26, that's that abundance again. Earth magic. The sun, the moon, and the earth. Miracles, ancient wisdom. We are able to remove these obstacles. There is an ebb and flow to how things flow. Like there's this energy, as I said, how things ripple out. It may start on a small scale, but by taking the small steps, it creates a bigger wave, a bigger ripple. But it starts now, in the present moment, with us. And we have help. We're not alone. This ancient wisdom that's coming forth, there are angels and ascended masters that are assisting us. A lot of these robots even use crystals themselves. That's where that earth energy is coming forth. Many of you have the ability to use the energy of crystals to magnify your awareness, your essence, your energy. See, it's the copycat energy. A robot is just an artificial copy of you. So like you're able to utilize crystal energy, they now put crystals, quartz crystals in computers, in robots. Another imitation of you, the imitation of life, I just heard. Is it easy to move in these ebbs and flows? No, but we do have assistance from above, assistance within. And as within, so without. As above, we can remove these obstacles that are occurring so below, here in this realm. Because what's taking effect now is what's going to create this healing. Soul Star Chakra, where we stay connected with that spiritual essence within ourselves. That's why there's fluoride and things like that in your water and in your toothpaste, so that your pineal gland is calcified and you're not able to connect with that divine wisdom with that ethereal energy, so that you're giving over your sovereignty, relinquishing your power to another that's creating and using fear tactics, so that that false evidence that appears real, that artificial imitation, cheap ass copy of you, can then control you. Baby, now in this present moment, choosing love is a part of this healing essence that's going to manifest the abundance in the present moment and in the future. Ganesha energy here, breaking through those obstacles like an elephant breaking through a hay wall. They're putting up roadblocks, distractions, so that you don't see the abundance that lies within you. Abundance comes in a multitude of ways. It's not just about this material that they're showing you. It's not just about having the new Tesla that's going to break down. It's not just about having the newest iPhone. No, baby, there's a whole nother abundance to you as a soul having this human experience. Keywords: human experience. Pay attention. Selah for a minute. Think about that. You're a soul having a human experience. There are some that want to flip the script on that. Robots now have citizenship. Where they do that at? You know how hard it is for many of us to even go into another country to decide you want to have citizenship there. Why does a robot have the same rights as a soul having a human experience? You are a soul having a human experience. Pay attention. Selah. Pause and think about that. Many of you coming into these wisdoms with the Thorax rune here, even everything I just said, the divine just reminded me, keep your spiritual protection up, because by you making others aware of this, by mothers standing together and deciding that they don't want their children to have certain vaccines, yes, there's this element of needing protection around you, because some don't want these messages to come out. Some want you to relinquish your power and will do anything they have to. Create any fear-based tactics, any propaganda. But you're protected regardless of whatever fear tactics, false evidence appearing real. I call in my protection on a regular. And I'm thankful to the ancestors, to the angels, to the Most High that allowed us souls. Keyword: a robot doesn't have a soul. Selah. Pause and think about that. While you're fighting over which religion, over which this, we are all souls. Those who have a soul here having this human experience. That other soul is not who you're in competition with. That's not who your battle is with. They're behind the scenes creating a whole nother war, sweetie. Pay attention. Selah. Pause and think about that. Soulless beings. What's another type of soulless being? A robot that now looks like you, can imitate your speech, even creating robots that have artificial wombs. There are people that have sex with robots. It feels like the real thing, but baby, it ain't. It's artificial. What kind of a future are we weaving? I didn't ask to give this message. I was given the honor of giving this message. And there will be many more of you who are going to receive messages that you're going to hesitate about. It's not just about who's sleeping with who and this one sleeping with that one and the gossip. Sweetie, there are bigger things happening behind the scenes. Wake up. See things from a higher perspective. What is the legacy we're leaving? What is the future that we're weaving? There's time for a healing. A healing of the nations, a healing within the soul, a healing of the feminine energy. Because it's the feminine energy where the creation happens. And so if they can keep the masculine in competition, fighting against feminine energy, men do this, women do this. Divide and conquer tactics. Such and so just got a new Tesla. Such and so just got a new Lamborghini. What is that gossip even benefit? Selah. Pause and think about that. As you give over your sovereignty to someone, because we're enthralled in the distractions. There is, I hear you, divine. They told me this message that's coming out today, look at here, medicine shield, baby, put your guards up. Because there are some that are hearing this message, and they even put the medicine bag up out here. This is about also protection, using the tools that you have to protect yourself. They gave me 3 cards to let me know that this message is hitting home today. And not to worry, because I'm still protected, but continue to use the tools. So for any of you that are resonating with this message as well, and you know that you're implementing and taking steps, you're speaking the truth, you're waking others up, you're seeing things from a higher perspective. Don't slack on your protection and don't fear. Know that you are protected, and there is wisdom coming from above, coming from within, from all around you, from others that are on the same wavelength as you, from like minds that are connected to you, that want to see the future, the legacy of souls that are having this human experience weaved into a more golden future. The alchemy of it all. We have Lodge here with cancel. It's like they just showed me an image of them getting together, people making phone calls. There's a message going out into the ethers, and it's waking people up. What are we gonna do about this? What fear tactics can we come up with now? They're getting together in council. It's now time for us to get together in council each other about how we're creating legacies and dynasties to keep our generation safe, to keep those souls that are having this human experience where we're protecting our right to choose. Medicine shield here. I also just hear protecting ourselves from certain medicines. It's a reason that something that's meant to cure something as simple as a sniffle has 10 different side effects. There's a reason that certain medicines, once you take them, you can't even just stop taking them. You have to get weaned off of these medicines. And they're supposed to be doing you good. With all of the technology that we have, we can come up with artificial intelligence to be following you any and everywhere, but we can't come up with medicines that don't have 15 different side effects. You're going to tell me there's not enough money to do the research to, if we're actually going to create certain medicines, that these medicines are actually helpful and not hurtful? Come again. Yo. It's time for you. You see, we got 2 words about medicine. It's time for you to get in your bag about what natural medicines can help and heal you. Or you can relinquish your power and continue to trust their medicines that have 15 different side effects. It's time for you to protect yourself. Get together with other like-minded individuals that are creating natural remedies and protecting those that are creating natural remedies. Why is it that every time someone can come up with, and I'm thinking of Dr. Sebi, cures, natural cures for like AIDS and cancer, they disappear? Come on, man. You think that's a coincidence? I don't really believe in coincidences. It's time for us to step into this knowing and be unmovable, unshakable about this knowing. I'm going to grab some tarot. Oh no, I still got more. They said keep going. Okay. This message is getting deep, divine. Let's do it though. Said it's necessary. We're growing within this current situation. It's a necessity. It's time for us to come together, lodge with council here, because they're always coming together with their secret meetings that you think, that they think no one knows about, and they don't care even if you do know about it, because we do nothing to counteract it. It's now time for the scales to be balanced, I just heard. It's now time for the scales to be balanced. I get that many of you have not wanting to know certain truths, because then you have to look at everything, including yourself and the part we play within being distracted by certain things. Okay, nothing from here. About any guilt we feel about allowing certain things to take place. The guilt for not taking the bull by the horns, I just heard. Continue to pray for those of you who pray. Prayers are being answered. Some of you are doing it in your meditation. Your heart is sending out messages into the ethers like, how do we change this? What are the necessary steps? Who are those that I need to connect with so that there is this healing of the nation, a healing of souls, souls that are here having this human experience. Some of you are praying for the confidence to not be in fear about the messages that you've been receiving. Some of you receiving these messages in your dreams, and you see the things are manifesting from your dream state. Some of you have been made aware of certain things. It takes all of us. It's not just about one person. It takes a collective energy. This is also to say that your prayers, your meditation, your hearts are being heard. And the work that you're putting in, you're going to meet those. It may seem like out of the blue that have that same energy for bringing balance, yin and yang here, that are willing to put in the work. The work to protect those that are speaking these truths. The work to protect those that are bringing forth these truths. You're going to meet people that are also creating these natural cures. For some of you, it's going to seem like they came out of nowhere. Serendipity. You're going to be in the right place at the right time to meet the right people to work with, to grow. We have the gardener and the garden. The people that are willing to put in the work to see the future weaved better, to see things growing in a more natural way, to see and work with those who are not giving up their power, who are not relinquishing their sovereignty. It's like it's a no-go. And so now there's this essence that's being created where you're going to come into contact, like where you guys will be coming together, council, like a group. Now that the awareness is going out, now that others are more willing to take into account this present moment where you have the ability to make these changes, you're going to be in the right place at the right time to meet the right people. Those that are putting in the work to create these natural cures, those that are putting in the work to weave the future golden, those who are also a part of your legacy or a part of bringing forth this dynasty legacy together. Those that have enlightenment, especially about spiritual things that are happening. Card number 43, 7, that spiritual lesson. There are going to be meetings that are happening. You're going to know. You'll know. Your body will enlighten you to when you're meeting with the right people at the right time. For some of you, these meetings are going to take place in the spiritual first. We have 2 crystals here that are speaking forth, that are coming forth. We actually have 4. The red jasper and the black moonstone. This is a black moonstone. This is what it looks like. You see that? Okay. And the larimar and the lepidolite. The larimar is that crystal that brings us back to the ebbs and flows, where it's the sea. Give me any messages you have to wrap this up, any messages that have insight and guidance for us, or any other message that are coming forth for clarity. Okay, thank you for the messages. As I was saying, the larimar is that crystal that assists with moving. Wow, just that? Is there anything else? Even though that is just perfect. We have the sun card here. I'm just going to ask, is there anything else? Okay. Okay. Thank you. When I asked for anything else, we got the Ten of Swords and the High Priestess. That's because there is going to be some that may come to you that want to backstab you, betray you, because you're a part of this dynasty of the divine mothers. Those that want to backstab and betray because they don't want to see divine feminine energy balanced out. They're not about the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine. They have another agenda that they're pushing. And their agenda backs this fear-based tactics where the false evidence appears real. They don't want to see you alchemize it to where fear becomes you face everything and rise. There's an alchemy in that's occurring. No more false evidence that appears real, baby. It's being alchemized into facing every challenge, every fear, every tactic, every propaganda. Facing everything and rising. And now we rise. This also has to do with the mind. They don't want you to be stable in your mind. So they're throwing daggers from every which way. Or they tried, from your family, from jobs, keeping the men working constantly, then taking the mother out of the homes and keeping them working constantly so that you're distracted. You're not paying attention to your children. You'll put a tablet or a phone in their hand, not even communicating with them. These secrets are being revealed. It's time to tap into your intuition, High Priestess energy. Men and women. It's time to remove the swords from your back. This is 10, an excess of energy. This has been happening excessively. But I'm also hearing that the worst is over. Now we have the new beginning, the opportunity in this present moment to weave the future golden. The sun, golden. Children of Ra, I just heard. Do you see there's a little child there? With a white horse, the purity of it all. Children are innocence. They're the pure souls. It's their environment. It's the things we give them, show them, tell them, teach them that decides then the adults that they become. It could be a successful, happy legacies, dynasties that come forward. It can be where everything actually is beautiful. These things are being exposed now. The sun is shining forth on where the Ten of Swords has been done. The sun is exposing all of those secrets so that we can take note of them. Flip the script on it and move into everything being beautiful, new beginnings. Where we're able to have this transition and change. There is a very strong vibration that's quickly being activated, which is why we have the lepidolite as a crystal here. It's coming from the heart chakra. And where your heart chakra is connected with your third eye, so that you're receiving this divine wisdom and insight. So that we can what the fuck? Oh my God. I was gonna say, so that we can transition away from sadness and lift each other up within so that we can lift each other up and restore connections. Connections of masculine and feminine energy. Connections with the spiritual planes. connections with our angels and our ancestors, where these connections are made stronger, where they're not dissipated because your pineal gland is calcified, or you're not going into meditation because we're too distracted with being on our devices for too long, where we're not paying attention to what's happening to our children. These things are being exposed. Pay attention to the intuitive messages that are coming forth. This has been this message. I want to thank you for joining me. Tonae Star here with Tonae Star Enterprises. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up so I can go get some water. This message has gone forth. No matter who or what energy or entity didn't want it to go forth, it's gone forth. For those of you who are resonating with this message, it's time in this present moment to take note, see things from a higher perspective, and now even take just the baby steps that gets us into the ebb and flows to now bringing these connections together, connecting with those to weave the future golden, where we're not relinquishing our power. Okay, remember, as I say, always shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you're still amongst the stars. The Larimar is also a crystal that assists in connecting with celestial energies, the sun and the moon. The sun represents the masculine, the moon represents the feminine, and the earth in between, where all things for those souls that are having this human experience have been birthed. Thank you for joining me, Tonae Star, here with Tonae Star Enterprises, where we stand on business. And we've just taken another voyage on the Enterprise to the 5D and beyond. Always, always, always let your light shine bright. I'm going to sing it, even though, and I'm only singing it because I feel like there's this something, like certain messages didn't want to go out, because right now I don't even have any incense or anything sage lit, but my throat just felt like, whoa. Always let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Always let your light shine bright. Do what? Let your light shine bright. Thank you for joining me.